All right, let's dive into an idea that might just change how you look at every single opportunity, every promotion, every ambition you have.
You've heard this a million times, right? The position makes the person. Someone gets a big job and suddenly they seem to grow into it. But you've also seen the opposite happen, where someone gets that same promotion and they just totally crash and burn. So what gives? Does the position really make the person, or is there something else going on under the surface?
Well, the idea we're exploring today suggests the answer has nothing to do with luck or just raw talent. It's actually rooted in a fundamental law of how things work, almost like a rule of thumb for the universe that predicts outcomes with, well, frankly, surprising accuracy.
And that rule is called the 3-7 law. Now, it's a really simple but incredibly powerful concept. It basically says your success in anything new is practically decided before you even start. It all comes down to whether you're walking in with 30% of what you need or 70%. And that number, that's the threshold that separates a huge struggle from a huge success.
I mean, just look at the difference here. If you jump into a role when you're only about 30% ready, the law says it's pretty much set up for failure. The job is going to swallow you whole. But if you wait until you're 70% prepared, that's when the magic happens. The final 30% gets filled in by the position itself, and that's when the old saying, "the position makes the person," actually comes true. So the big question is, how in the world do you know which one you are?
Well, to figure that out, we have to tune into our own internal signals. Think of them like an inner compass, one that tells you exactly how ready you are, even when you can't put a number on it yourself.
Okay, and this is where things get really counterintuitive. If you feel this burning, intense desire for something, you know that feeling that I absolutely have to get this job? The law says that feeling means you're actually less than 50% ready. Wild, right? Now, as you get closer to 60%, that desire cools down into a calmer confidence, more of a, you know what, I think I can do this now. But the real telltale sign of 70% readiness? It isn't a feeling you have at all. It's something that happens to you.
This quote really just hits the nail on the head. That intense wanting, that near obsession with getting something, it's not a sign that it's meant for you. According to this principle, it's a huge warning sign. It's your inner compass screaming that you're chasing something you are just not prepared for yet.
Now, let's talk about this 60% mark, because this is the real danger zone. This is where so many of us make our move. You feel pretty good about it. You're thinking, yeah, I can probably pull this off. It feels like the perfect time to take that leap. But according to the 3-7 law, leaping at 60% still ends in failure. You're close, for sure, but you're not close enough for the universe to step in and carry you the rest of the way. So, if that intense desire is actually a bad sign, and quiet confidence is still too early, what is the ultimate signal that you finally hit that magic 70% number? This is where we get to the absolute core, the biggest revelation of this entire idea.
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If you can't trust your own gut, your own burning desire, how are you supposed to know when it's the right time to make a move? Well, the answer is, you don't have to.
And this is the key. When you are truly, genuinely 70% ready, you don't chase the opportunity anymore. It comes and finds you. The people around you, your work environment, just the general flow of events, what the source material calls great nature. It all sort of conspires to put that opportunity right in your lap. It stops being something you're trying to grab and becomes something that's being offered to you.
This really lays out the two different ways of being, doesn't it? Over on the left, you've got chasing. This is what you do when you're under 70%. It's all driven by your own personal desire, your ego. It feels like a constant struggle, like you're swimming upstream, and yeah, there's a high risk of failure. But on the right, that's attracting. This is what happens at 70%. The opportunity comes to you because other people see that you're ready. It feels natural, almost effortless, and success becomes pretty much a sure thing.
Okay, that's great. But let's be real. Things don't always go to plan. What happens when you go for it and you just don't get it? Well, the 3-7 law has a very specific and honestly a pretty comforting way of looking at failure.
I mean, we've all been there. You put in the application, you nail the interviews, you give it everything you've got, and you get that thanks but no thanks email. It stings. It feels personal. It can make you question everything. But what if that rejection isn't a judgment on you? What if it's just data?
This is a huge mental shift. Failure isn't a dead end. It's a GPS coordinate. The universe isn't shouting no, never. It's just calmly saying, not yet. And by the way, here's exactly where you are on the map right now. It's literally the most honest, unfiltered feedback you could ever ask for.
So the most important thing is how you react. The source gives us a really clear playbook here. First step, don't get emotional. Don't get discouraged. Just accept the result as a totally accurate measurement. Then take a step back and calmly figure out, okay, what was I missing? And finally, you take that knowledge and use it to get back to preparing so you can actually hit that 70% mark. Freaking out about it just wastes time.
And this all leads to a really beautiful final point about character. You know, we always think of things like humility or integrity as traits we have to work on, like building a muscle at the gym. But this way of thinking suggests that true character isn't something you force. It's just a natural side effect. It's what happens when you're in a position you're genuinely ready for. When you're in the right place, your actions just naturally become correct.
So, as we wrap up, this is really the question to leave with. In your own life, in your career, what are you focused on? Are you patiently building your skills, getting yourself to that 70% level, and trusting that the right doors will open when they're supposed to? Or are you spending all your energy chasing after a title, driven by that burning desire that might just be telling you you're not ready yet? The 3-7 law suggests that the best path forward involves a lot less chasing and a whole lot more preparing. Thanks for tuning in.